I'm having trouble articulating here, like, the objective reason why this comes off as, like, unsettling for me. So maybe I shouldn't try to really pretend this is not, like, an opinion thing for me at this point. It's really fucking weird. Is this gonna be a long topic? I don't think it really needs to be. The topic in itself here, the ethics of artificial intelligence and machine learning pornography that are perceived as, like, practically indistinguishable from actual pornography, though lacking the consent of the participants being depicted, and it's being perceived as the same value from consumers of the products, the videos and images anyway. That's a genuinely very slippery slope that needs to be entertained over the ethics of consent when being depicted by these very new tools in the public discourse. Initially, I really was like, you know, I don't know if I really need to cover, like, this topic here. I don't really want to, like, sit here and, like, give more gas on the individual of Atrioc with his situation. Atrioc had, you know, machine learning, artificial intelligence, pornography used to depict mutuals, you know, Maya, Higa, and Pokimane, etc., in pornography, and it apparently had some kind of, like, insight into I don't know if it's producing it or behind the paywall and whatnot, but it's just like, you know, it was like okay, well, this is a little bit deeper than just consuming questionable porn given your stature and your notoriety. This is like a deeper conversation, right? There's a lot. This is like there's way more red tape here that I would think this would lead to an easier, like, layup answer on. Okay, yeah, maybe we really need to have a discussion and be on the same page about the ethics of AI and machine learning concerning non-consenting depictions of individuals in pornographic images, stills, and videos. So ultimately, Atrioc, who is a prolific, from what I hear, I don't know of him personally, but I'm learning of him from this incident myself, a 5,000 viewer prolific streamer who is a mutual friend of Ludwig, just to give you an idea of how notable he is. And he is married, if that's also relevant context here. And one day, I guess he was just, you know, I don't know, you get comfortable and negligent, whatever else here. And on his stream station, when he did an alt tab maneuver to switch between windows or programs or whatever here. Remember, when you do this, it opens all active windows on the hot monitor in question. You were able to see, let's go down here. You were able to see very briefly that there was some explicit material that depicted specifically Pokimane and Maya, of them depicted in deepfake porn. This kind of thing is, like, very different than, say, like, the types of things that people would typically clip chump out of context, you know, ex woman getting up and walking away, so you get, like, a nice shot of, you know, their rear or whatever, right? Like those things to me are, like, a little bit, it's still bad. Don't get me wrong here. I mean, ultimately, we're now talking about a bigger situation of, like really here the ethics of, like, can you sexualize what's deliberately non-sexual content, right? Let's go ahead and look at the thing in question here and just give you some necessary context.
Stream to, like, create a pattern of behavior where I really want, especially women on Twitch, to feel safer. Like, we call fucking booba spam cringe. We don't do that there. I've never made, like, a fucking weird, I don't know, seat sniffing joke. I've never done anything like that. I've never done anything like that on this stream. And we don't tolerate any sex behavior in the chat. We ban it on site. And like, I've done this consistently over and over and over. And then fucking at 2 a.m., you know, I've been watching so much fucking, I've been reading so much fucking AI stuff. I'm reading all this fucking stuff about AI and fucking deepfake music, deepfake art and everything. And I'm in these fucking Discords. And I just feel so embarrassing to admit. But I was on fucking Pornhub, dude. I was on a fucking regular ass normal fucking website. And there was an ad. There's an ad on every fucking video for this fucking, so I know other people must be clicking it because it's on every fucking video for fucking deepfake thing. And then I streamed to, like, create a pattern of behavior.
So yeah, there's a couple of things here, right? So first is the fact that like, there is definitely something to be said about streaming your apology by making it a like video apology that is also not pre-recorded, but actually being live streamed. It does give a lot of gasoline towards the visibility of the whole thing, right? Because like the more attention this gets, which again, this is the whole problem, right? In the beginning, I perceived this as a Atrioc, you know, lapse in judgment, poor judgment, questionable ethics, you know, consuming fat fodder of your mutuals. It's pretty, I'm having trouble articulating here, like the objective reason why this comes off as like unsettling for me. So maybe I shouldn't try to really pretend this is not like an opinion thing for me at this point. It's really fucking weird. Especially if you already know how like, how much shit women go through on live streaming, content creation, Twitch. It's so much harder clearly to be a woman in gaming and a woman in content creation because of just how much more stigmas there is just for existing, right? You get the haters tell you that, you know, you get carried by your boobs. You know, oh, I can make it if I was a woman myself. You know, just there's a lot of like really gross shit, and ultimately it really is a boys' club. But yeah, okay, going back. I'm sorry, we rewind back here. So, yes, making it a video apology is just bringing a lot more gasoline on the fire, and it goes from it started as maybe the Atrioc situation, and now it just kind of made it now a bigger thing where. Unfortunately, he's going to be perceived as the AI porn guy. He will be a case study for determining here maybe a bigger discussion, again, on the ethics of the situation here, which is unfortunate and reputation tarnishing. I do wonder if things would have been a little bit different had there been a video apology rather than a live stream one. Maybe in his head, he felt like there was some virtue by like coming live, showing his face, and doing all this here. Maybe his wife demanded him to apologize because she also felt disgusted, because, you know, the sympathy here, you can just as a woman, you can easily see here how other women would feel really grossed out by this whole thing and whatnot. Okay, so okay, we'll take that and we'll move on from there. Let's go ahead and move on now to the apology here. What did Atrioc have to say with this tweet, which I'll go ahead and link here now. This statement is long overdue. My actions have taken me from someone I was proud of, trying to make a positive impact in my community, to a deepfake porn guy. The scar of that is felt deeply on my heart. First and foremost, I want to specifically apologize to Maya and Pokimane. Your names were dragged into it and you were sexualized against your will. I have it easy compared to the dozens of women who, from my actions, discovered they are exploited unconsensually. I'm sorry to all of you for the pain I caused with my action and its ripple effect. This is the last time you hear from me for a while. I'd rather you see my actions. I will try my absolute hardest to combat the damage I caused. Thank you. If I may here, this is actually a good apology. It's not even really asking for forgiveness from those affected. You know, the sorry you were offended. There is a craft to apologies. There is a skill, and there is a capability to be earnest in your apology. And it really just comes down to the fact that people usually feel that an apology means that there's an obligation for forgiveness from those who are affected by the action that you're probably apologizing for, which is simply not true. Apologies are actually supposed to be for your own closure. It's to give you like the capability to move on. That's really what's meant to do. The forgiveness is a coincidental bonus, but it should not be the specific reason. Like, forgive me, I did the thing, I said the words, you know, so my actions, I'm good now, right? So ultimately, it's like trust is earned, not given, and when it's taken away, it's that much harder. You know, maybe multiply it by 2 or even square it off. It will take time, unfortunately, and it's going to be a huge uphill battle. You know, this incident will never be scrubbed from the internet, and there will probably always be huge amounts of articles that will outnumber any good he will do going forward. Okay, so before I go into the deepfake porn ethics stuff, don't worry, I'm getting to it. I'm getting to it here. It's a nuanced topic here. I did want to share what the victim said. I think it's important to, before anything else here, hear from them and read their statements. Cutie Cinderella had the strongest one here, though. I want to scream, stop, everybody fucking stop, stop spreading it, stop advertising it, stop. Being seen naked against your will should not be a part of this job. Thank you for all the male internet journalists reporting on this issue. Fucking losers, and then tags someone who was like spreading the images here. Again, I have not seen the images in question. I'm not really looking for them either, quite frankly. Simply put, chat, if you are curious of like what I would equate this to, just for the sake of like understanding it bluntly here, I would equate this to like revenge porn. They all have the same qualities and principle here. Non-consenting spreading of explicit things, but except in this case here, like at one point maybe revenge porn was consensually produced, but was not consensually agreed to be distributed, right? But this is like, you know, like this is like double revenge porn, one would say, because it was like not, it's like double, not depicted, against my will, I don't want it, and it's being spread. So, you know, you kind of get the idea from there. So yeah, this is you know, and I feel her pain, and this is not, I'm not really meaning to show Cutie Cinderella's like turmoil and such to like farm drama in any capacity here. It's just more that, again, I'm covering this issue now because I've seen so much overwhelming delusion and disdain for the severity of what this does to a person. And I think honestly here, like, okay, like the idea that like, hey, I'm gonna take your body and like make it conventionally hotter and then put your face on it, like, it's like uniquely, it's like, yeah, let me take what makes you you and get rid of all the parts that are not up to my arbitrary spec and make you even better while you still exist as a beneath my standard situation. It's a uniquely like dehumanizing thing to think about, right? And the problem here is that like, I think women understand, but for men, I can't really think of a parallel here. How do I make men understand what the women are going through here? Only thing I can really think of is like, imagine it's you, but like they put like a, I don't know, like a fucking, they put a bigger cock on you, and then it makes you feel some kind of way about your manhood or whatever, because men are really fixated on the whole like dick size debate, I guess. Again, I can't even like really, that's the whole thing, right? There's not really like, the beauty standards are already toxic. The Instagram effects are already toxic. Women already go through like, conventionally speaking here, more like suicidal thoughts over inadequateness. Only 2% of women even consider themselves beautiful. Again, the Instagram effect is like really fucked up a lot of teenage girls all around. And I can't even think of the equivalent with men beyond like their, beyond like maybe like the psychological situation, talk about the manosphere and how men are kind of like, in some cases here, lost over a parental or father figure, or maybe it could be rooted the fact here that like, you know, unregulated porn consumption leads to your values in relationships and dating and an attraction all deriving from a hyper reality stemming from porn consumption. You know, if you have like no parental figure giving you guidance on how to navigate through like puberty, attraction, or even, dare I say, like the disclosing like proper entitlement towards like, you know, how entitled you should feel towards sex and virginity statuses and all this other like, you know, clout chasing, brain rot, social media garbage. It could lead to, you know, your only real tutor in this regard being pornography. You see what's valued in porn and you're like, okay, well, I know what I like now, right? It could fuck your brain up, honestly, here, dude. So that's the problem here. So I don't think I can even like really articulate a parallel for men to compute here. So when I see this here, this is not an overreaction. This is like kind of hard for me to even really wrap your head around in a way. So we have here her other tweet. The amount of body dysmorphia I've experienced since seeing these photos has ruined me. It's not as simple as just being violated. It's so much more than that.
I want to go live because this is what pain looks like. This is what it looks like. Okay? Fuck the fucking internet. Fuck the constant exploitation and objectification of women. It's exhausting. Fuck Atrioc for showing it to thousands of people. Fuck the people DMing me pictures of myself from that website. Fuck you all. If you are able to look at women who are not selling themselves or benefiting off of being seen sexually, they're not benefiting, they're not selling it, they're not platforming it themselves. If you are able to look at that, you are the problem. You see women as an object. You should not be okay doing that. And it should not be a part of my job to have to pay money to get this stuff taken down. It should not be part of my job to be harassed, to see pictures of me nude spread around. It should not be something that is found on the internet. It shouldn't be. That shouldn't be a part of my job. And the fact that it is exhausting. And the person that made that website, I'm going to fucking sue you. I promise you. With every part of my soul, I'm going to fucking sue you. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, it sucks, and it seems to be like uniquely a woman problem. Men don't have to go through that, and that is like and that's showing some sign of privilege on my end here. You know, it's a little bit simpler for me in that regard. I don't have to deal with this shit. But that does seem particularly exhausting. And another angle I want to bring into this here is the fact that, like, as you said there, we shouldn't have to pay money to take this shit down. Do keep in mind, by the way, that it's literally parasitic. It can't exist without the host, but it being an appendage makes everything globally a worse situation, right? If Pokemon or anyone who deals with the situation brings it to attention, hey, stop distributing these like fake nudes, it's fucking exhausting. What does that do, right? What's that effect whenever you bring attention to something, and when you wanna not, ultimately trying to hide something will just bring more attention to it? It's a Streisand effect or whatever. Yeah, Streisand effect. Yeah. Do you bring attention and awareness to here? Because like the worst thing you can do is give the doxer or the attempted doxer attention, right? So all you can really do here is just like not bring it to attention, deprive them of all like satisfaction and validity that they're actually a threat, and just kind of go from there, right? That's all you can really do. It's the same thing here, right? You can't let, you know, because ultimately one would say here, and this is like the big thing, right? If you're consuming fake porn of a particular individual, then I don't think it's far-fetched to say here that you're you know, the lack of consent and the taboo-ness of it might be what you're getting off on, you know? There is this tweet here. It's a real tweet. I think this is some of the stuff I've seen. This is not all of it at all, by the way. This is just some of the stuff I've seen here. Millionaire internet streamer's reaction to AI porn of herself. You won't find more fragile people than popular internet personalities, especially women. So the problem here is that when there are takes like this that develop any traction at all here, this is a problem. But yeah, this is a terrible take from a terrible person. I just wanted you to know that this is like, if you're thinking here that I'm being dramatic or maybe I'm just like, you know, blah, blah, blah. No, if you go on Twitter, it's quite disgusting. The discourse I'm seeing there is very problematic, and it made me feel like I needed to cover this because I needed to like put myself out there as an ally to women again, because what I'm seeing right now is like a very problematic, antiquated view on ethics and consent. Not even porn, ethics and consent. It's just that simple here. Sometimes I worry that I come off as like, you know, when I'm making my stance, I come off as like too preachy, maybe, even though I'm really trying to always root it back to like some level of objective reasoning here. I feel this way, yes, you know, okay, yeah, I'm making an opinion piece right now. I'm a human, but I try to like, as quick as I can, bring it back to an objective component to why my argument is rooted in this way here. You can say that I'm connecting the erroneous pieces, and you can hate me all you want, which is, you know, nothing new. Whatever, I have haters all fucking day. But at least you understand why I'm saying what I'm saying, right? Let's look at a take that I do wholly endorse here. There is a very simple, non-debatable difference between legal porn and deepfake porn. The former is consensual, the latter is inherently non-consensual. Deepfake porn is a form of digital abuse and violates the victims, who of course are mostly the victims, plural, rights to their privacy and images. It's horrifying and increasingly prevalent threat to women's agency and bodily autonomy. It takes a devastating toll on the victims. Minimizing the seriousness of DFP perpetuates an existing power imbalance that hierarchizes the male gaze at the top and deems women as objects. This is simply it right here, ultimately. I think the problem here is that, I don't know, I'm trying to think here. It's like, it's so hard because like, I don't even think I could still make this like work for like a male equivalent. Even when I say something like, you know, like you, but bigger dick, which is still not even like the correct way to approach it, honestly. It's just tough to find an equivalent, and it just like really fucking sucks. I think it's just best to say here that if you ever feel like you're discounting like what women go through, you know, read about the history of women's rights. Women could not open a bank account until 1950 or 1960, I want to say. I remember I learned that recently. That was kind of crazy. You know, learn about how, like, when it comes to bodily rights, you know, you're looking at Roe v. Wade had fell. We're looking at the fact that, like, men can get a vasectomy, and it costs very often, like, usually 1/10 of what the equivalent for a woman's procedures cost. I don't know if that's, like, deliberate or not here, but just bring up a fact. And that, you know, married women, to get the equivalent of a men's vasectomy, usually need the written consent of their husband to do so in most states. I kid you not. It is absolutely fucking wild. That was a wild fact that I didn't know, and it was absolutely crazy. So something to keep in mind. Also here, quite frankly, maybe just like slow down and maybe like don't ask all your guy friends for their take on this here. You know, don't even ask me. I'm here mostly to be a megaphone towards the women, but maybe ask one of your women mutuals. Hey, how do you feel about this? You know, and just listen, hear from them. You know, ask them about the Instagram effect. Ask them about, you know, what are your bouts? Have you ever had experiences with, like, you know, let's not call it full-blown body dysmorphia, but, you know, symptoms of that? Have you ever felt like you're not beautiful enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not worthy enough? Has social media made you feel this way? Has the beauty industry, has the makeup industry made you feel this way? Have you felt targeted to feel inadequate by these makeup channels and makeup products so that you feel the need to use them and whatnot? But then simultaneously, you feel attacked by men because you look too unnatural. But in reality, what they're actually cooing over is the natural look using makeup. Again, it's just like, you know, literally, like Pepega 3-head takes her all the way, right? What can you, you know, how do you win? What do you, like, what do you do here, right? Like, it's garbage in every direction. So maybe just slow down, pause, take a second, ask your friend, learn a little bit here, you know, might go a long way. A little bit more compassion and empathy may go a very, very long way here, I would say.
Yeah.